Can you hunt bears with this too?
Oh, you could. My dad killed a bear with one of them arrows. I've killed bears. Yeah, I've killed bear before.
So on this end, you need to put something.
There'll be a
pointy?
broadhead. There'll be a
Okay.
broadhead on the blades.
And it usually goes inside of the animal this much or a little bit.
It goes all the way through it in
All
a
the way
second.
through it?
In a second. I mean, it's
Like
like that.
all the way here inside.
If you've
of
seen
it?
a video, of it, you'd be amazed. And that was really one of the neat things when we first started making videos and selling them. You asked how we got this going. I sat and I was making videotapes. I was copying videotapes of a videotape, that we made, and I'd send them out to bow shops because bow shops would have a video player playing, and what we did was we had all these chopped up to where it's just shot, kill shots, just bang, bang, bang. Some of them good, some of them not so good, some of them bad shots. Sometimes bad shots happen. Animals move, and people that say they never made a bad shot, they never shot too much. I'll tell you that. But that was really cool, and that really helped people because people don't realize. Did that just go through that animal? Because you've seen if the deer was canted right, you could see the light go right all the way through him, and stuck on the ground over there,
Mm-hmm.
But just like that, it just flies. Unless you hit a bone or something,
To give you an idea of bow and arrow, I have a friend who he was in his own house. This is really dumb of him, but he said, I bet you I can take this bow and arrow, and I'll shoot my TV. That was in the other room. It was in the other room, and he shot went right through the drywall, and hit his TV.
Really?
With the bow and arrow. So that's what I mean. It's gonna have speed.
Hope his wife wasn't home.
He's a single guy, for a reason, because he's doing dumb stuff like that. But these things will. I don't know what the speed is. I mean, they're
Well, with bows and arrow, with a bow and arrow, your speed's usually around 300. With crossbows, it's gotten about 400, a little bit, almost to 500.
Yeah.
No, feet per second.
Oh, feet per second.
Feet per second.
Okay.
So, I've been archer. I've been shooting a bow since I was 6 years old, and one of the things I like to do is I shoot 100 yards with my bow. And I got a target set out there, and I can shoot 100 yards, and it comes in. It comes into play when you hunt western animals. Like, people think, why are you shooting so far? When you hunt western animals, you have to be good from 70 yards hunting mule deer, elk. So, but what's cool about it is when you practice them long distances, you want to do it on windy days. You want to do it with a crosswind, and shoot. And I'll find my arrows later because I got lights on them, But, bend them arrows to the target. Shoot that wind, and that arrow. And and I made my most amazing shot one time. It was a 68-yard shot at a mule deer in Colorado on TV, and a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind. And I hit him, man. I just because I practiced it. I practiced that stuff. I knew I had to make move the bow this much to the side and before I let her go. But it's not archery's not for everybody. I mean, our hunting's not for everybody. But boy, I sure hope they don't try to take our rights away from us. That's the biggest thing. All us hunters, we should stick together, whether you're a bow hunter, you're a gun hunter. If you hunt with a hammer, you should all stick together, because there's only so many of us. There's only 2.5 million bow hunters in the United States. That's it. Now there's no bow hunters hardly across the whole world. I mean, there's no big numbers of bow hunters. I mean, sure, you're going to have 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 here, but there's no, and like in Europe, there's hardly any bow hunting over there. Now, and there's a lot of archery shooting, but they don't shoot lighted arrow nocks in archery shoots. Right. And we've sold 10 million nocks to the people of the United States, over the years. And when we first came out with a TV show, said, man, you're going to pay $10 for an arrow nock. You'll never sell any of them, and boy, we did. It's maybe it was a misconception. People thought it'd help them kill stuff, but it doesn't. What we stumbled into when we first started this, though, was they were illegal in all the states, practically. There were so many states that they were illegal in, Nocks were, because they were thinking that there was a tracking device, and we finally got to talking to people. Like, our first one we turned over was Alaska. Alaska had a law in there. And what we found out was Pope and Young, which is kind of the rules committee for archery law for taking animals, a lot of your western states and a lot of states just took that law and cut and pasted it. and it said no electronic devices on your bow. And if your arrow's on your bow, it's on your bow, and some people got in trouble with this. I mean, there's guys down in Kansas that were, the first TV show that we got involved with, and they were really, really religious guys, these two guys. And they got accused of running cocaine and all kinds of stuff because of these lighted Nocks. And what it was they, Matt was like, well, they ain't going to arrest me for that. Well, they did. They took their animals. They had the proof was all the film they shot. They used all that against them. But it ended up getting turned over about that same time. Kansas turned the law over, which got them in the clear. But it's crazy, And then, but on and on and on. The last state was 3 years ago that turned over, and it was Idaho. Idaho was the last state that turned. Montana before that, Washington before that. Those were the latest states, and only goes to figure they're the most progressive states.
What's the negative thing about having a tracking device on a?
Well, there's no negative really, unless you're trying to leave that tracking device in an animal. That's where it gets in. That's where it gets crazy. Because people have approached us wanting us to buy this device, and it had a broadhead and it's got this little fish hook thing sticking out. It looks like a barb on a fish hook. And that would embed in the animal and put a tracker in there with an antenna. Now that's illegal, because you can't leave things in the animal. See, you just can't leave anything in the animal. That's the whole, and we tried to, and people have been talking about putting GPS in these Nocks forever, but it's a lot harder. It's a little harder than that. It is. It really is. That's why it ain't done yet. I mean, somebody did it, but
so again, you're saying if someone came up with, like you said, that part would, as the arrow went through, that little tracking thing would kind of break off.
Yeah, it just had a little rod it had a rod that stuck out with a barb on it,
right, off
to the side.
So then, if it took off,
and that broadhead would go through the animal, and then it would just leave that tracker right there.
Right. And then you could go find.
Yeah, you could find them with with a tracker. You had this thing you had to carry that beeped.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I will say.
It wasn't Bluetooth.
I totally respect, and I'm sure some rules are there, but there is a lot of we've had when we had Clark Cummings on. There's people who are just like anti-hunting, and they think it's just some barbaric, no rules. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of respect. That's in the hunting.
What
game.
people don't realize is all the people you're talking about that don't like hunting, they don't support hunting. The hunters support hunting. Hunters' money supports hunting. Mm-hmm. All our money supports hunting, supports the things we do. The people that usually bitch about it are people that know nothing about it. Just like you said, Lauren, they know nothing about it, and it's cruelty to animals. It's the same people that don't want us to have animals on the farm.
Right.
Don't want us to eat beef. Let's go eat a bowl of bugs. How about a bowl of bugs? That sounds good, don't it?
How's the word luminox